For decades after the Second World War, Tokyo rebuilt itself horizontally. The result was an endless sprawl of tightly packed, low-rise neighborhoods, long commutes, and very little green space. That density is a structural liability. Earthquakes and fires can easily tear through these crowded wooden districts, forcing the city into a constant, lethal cycle of scrap and build. Looking at this vulnerability, developer Minoru Mori proposed building upward rather than outward, a strategy he called the Urban New Deal policy. The goal was to compress a sprawling, fragile neighborhood into a singular, disaster-proof vertical ecosystem. In the 1980s, the Roppongi district was exactly the kind of cramped, fire-prone maze Mori wanted to fix. The plan to replace it required an immense, disruptive intervention. It took 17 years of continuous negotiations, land acquisitions, and heavy construction to execute what became Japan's largest private sector urban redevelopment project. By 2003, the centerpiece of this new district was finally complete, the 54-story Roppongi Hills Mori Tower. To understand how this megastructure operates as a self-contained city within a city, we have to pull its architecture apart layer by layer, starting deep underground. The tower's foundation bypasses the soft upper layers of soil, plunging dozens of meters down to anchor directly into Tokyo's solid bedrock. Because a rigid building will snap during a quake, the structure sits on a base isolation system equipped with semi-active oil dampers. These dampers automatically adjust to absorb and dissipate kinetic energy before it can travel up the tower. Deep below street level, the complex also houses its own independent gas turbine power plant and a dedicated water recycling system. If Tokyo's municipal grid fails during a catastrophic event, these integrated systems keep the lights on and the water running, allowing the tower to function as a self-sufficient shelter city. Above ground, the base of the complex rejects the sterile layout of the typical corporate plaza. The pathways intentionally twist and curve, mimicking the organic, maze-like streets of traditional Tokyo. These winding pedestrian routes are dotted with strategic public art, like Louise Bourgeois' massive bronze spider, creating natural collision points where people slow down and interact. Stacking commercial space vertically freed room for rooftop gardens, trees, and even a working rice paddy. The area's normalized difference vegetation index, a measure of active green space, has nearly doubled since the mid-90s. When we overlay surface temperature data, we see a corresponding 2 to 3 degree drop in local temperature compared to the surrounding neighborhoods. Vertical density, when engineered correctly, produces a greener and cooler ground-level environment than low-rise horizontal sprawl. Most skyscrapers reserve their highest, most valuable floors for private corporate offices. Mori decided to open the summit of his tower to the public. The 52nd and 53rd floors house the Mori Art Museum and observation deck, accessible through a dedicated glass-paneled entry point known as the museum cone. At 250 meters above sea level, these panoramic views turn the summit into a public commons, placing landmarks at eye level with the tower's visitors. But operating a structure of this magnitude comes with intense technical realities. In its early years, the tower suffered serious mechanical failures, including a fatal revolving door accident and an elevator fire in 2007. A vertical city functions as a massive machine. Maintaining safety for its occupants depends on constant iteration and the perfect coordination of its moving parts. Today, Roppongi Hills is a highly exclusive enclave. Filled with luxury boutiques, private clubs, and major tech tenants, the district operates as a playground for the wealthy. Yet, the engineering buried in the walls and foundation is strictly egalitarian. During a severe earthquake or power failure, the building protects everyone inside its footprint, regardless of their net worth. The commercial success of the project triggered a wave of similar, massive tower mansion developments across Tokyo, including Tokyo Midtown and Toranomon Hills. The legacy of Roppongi Hills is the demonstration that high-rise density can be engineered as a functional survival tool, allowing a megacity to breathe and endure even when its primary infrastructure fails.